Good afternoon. We are following an ABC News special report as the president holds his first formal press conference since taking office.
A lot of topics being covered. President Biden has been speaking on several of them. He began with a progress report on vaccinations for COVID-19. He does want to expand his original goal, doubling it to 200 million doses. He also touted his economy rescue plan, saying help here and forecasts for the economy are actually improving.
The president also said while his focus has been on COVID-19, he's now going to begin to focus more on other problems that Americans are currently facing. Now, this includes what's to do at the border and more focus on gun control. Most of the questions from reporters were on the border and what needs to be done.
Yeah, we had a lot of questions coming in there. If you've been following with us, of course, the president mentioned Fort Bliss by name. He said he expects HHS to actually build a new facility there. It's going to hold roughly 5,000 migrants. Of course, I don't know the exact numbers on this yet. We do have the president's full press conference up right now at KBIA.com, and still much more to come here on ABC 7 at noon. Now, we do know the Pentagon has approved a request to use an area of land on Fort Bliss to house those unaccompanied migrant children. This is video from 2016. Now, this was the last time Fort Bliss housed migrants within its post. It's still unknown how long it's going to take for HHS to construct those shelters that the president was touting today. The Pentagon approved the HHS request to use a vacant dormitory at Joint Base San Antonio Lackland as well for the exact same purpose. Pentagon officials say the facilities will not negatively affect military operations. The president spoke about the crisis at the border, of course, just minutes ago.
The vast majority of people under the age of 18 come to the United States come with a telephone number on a wristband, or come with a telephone number in their pocket in the United States. A mother, a father, a close relative, a grandmama or grandpa. What was happening before is it's taking literally weeks and weeks and maybe even months before anybody pick up the phone and call to see if there really was someone there. Well, we've set up a system now where within 24 hours there's a phone call made.
Obviously, the president said much more than that. Again, his whole press conference was about an hour long. We're going to talk more about it. Stay with us. Much more coming up. And Health and Human Services is now expanding its network of migrant shelters. Soon it will be able to accommodate up to 7,800 migrants with space for more than 6,400 right here in Texas. 3 new facilities have just been announced in the past week. A facility in Pecos, Texas will hold up to 2,000 people. A second facility in Carrizo Springs with a 500-bed capacity will open soon as well. And the San Diego Convention Center will have up to 1,400 beds at that location. Much more to come. Weather right after the break. To extra depth now on vaccination efforts in the U.S. and Mexico. The Biden administration finalizing plans to send 2.5 million doses of the AstraZeneca vaccines to Mexico. The U.S. has millions of doses in stock. They cannot be used because the AstraZeneca vaccine is not yet authorized by the FDA. Mexico's president says the U.S. expects to be paid back with the same number of doses in the future. Each country has different standards for approving a vaccine. Now compare the U.S. and Mexico. Here we've approved 3 vaccines, the Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson. It's on the left side of your screen there. Mexico, on the other hand, has approved 5, Pfizer, AstraZeneca, Sinovac, Sputnik V, and CanSino. Does this mean the doses available in the U.S. are safer? Well, not necessarily. The local infectious disease expert we spoke with says the U.S. and Mexico actually have very similar protocols to determine whether a vaccine is safe for the public.
They are actually very similar. What they do is every company will provide a data report of the studies that have been performed, and that information is put together in a big report and sent to every country's medication evaluation committees, who will provide a recommendation, and then subsequently the governing authorization body will approve it.
And the reason it's taking longer for the AstraZeneca vaccine to be approved in the U.S. is because the company had not yet filed an application with the FDA. AstraZeneca knows the FDA won't approve it until they have data from trials here in the United States. The AstraZeneca vaccine was being tested in other countries. Still, this doesn't mean that countries like Mexico are being less cautious by approving those vaccines before the U.S. does. Meza adds that the efficacy and the safety of a particular vaccine can be interpreted differently by different countries. AstraZeneca plans to apply for emergency use authorization in the U.S. in the next month. Still got some more news for you. Stick around.
We're all ready for those, morning lows to be a little bit warmer than where we're seeing them.
Yeah, I can attest to that, but once we get past the 80s, then you know what comes after that.
I think Madeline was ready for that
90s,
December.
triples.
As soon as it got
I
cold
was.
out, I think she wanted the warm weather back.
You know what? I got to point out, we're all wearing the colors of the Peeps. So, Nicole,
It
I
is
want to
kinda
hear your
odd.
opinion about this new Peeps Cola. Would you drink it?
No. I'm not even going to let you finish.
I'm with you. See,
No.
I knew this would split
Gross.
the newsroom.
I don't drink soda anyway, guys, though, so.
I mean,
No.
not very
You know
often.
what? It's a controversial story. We're going to get
Peeps
mixed
are
opinions.
controversial. I'll say it.
All right, they're nasty.
That was cold. Have a great rest of your afternoon. We'll see you back here tomorrow.